What's going on, everybody? C4 here today, continuing with the all-time greatest college football rosters series. We're doing the Penn State Nittany Lions here. They're number 10, so we're just breaking into the top 10. For those of you that don't give a shit about Penn State, you're like, yeah, maybe the next one. Probably going to be Friday night. We're going to be doing the Tennessee Volunteers, which means Peyton Manning. Ew. But today we got Penn State, coached by not Jerry Sandusky. So hopefully things are, not rapey, not Penn rapey. All right, that's what we're going to be rolling with here. Overall, the roster, not that great again. The big names don't necessarily correlate to how these rosters were rated. As I said before, I just used some generic, what are the top 25 college teams of all time? The top 10, there's like, obviously Miami's already gone. That's a very popular university. Florida's gone. So now we're getting to Penn State, like teams that were good in the 50s and 60s with players who no one gives a living fuck about. But we'll try our best to make these entertaining. If there's any, unexpected pauses, I did have KFC tonight against my better judgment. And that's, KFC is not really food. So we may have to run to the bathroom at some point. Who knows? But I didn't pay for it. It was free. You don't pass up free food. That's just rude, and I'm Canadian. So let's take a look here at the Penn State roster and see what we have to work with. All right, we're going to reorder it here. So at the quarterback spot, we're going with Christian Hackenberg. We're going with the hype. The hype of Christian Hackenberg after his real first year at Penn State. Everyone thought this guy, future Heisman Trophy winner, future first-round pick, hasn't really turned out that way, but that's just the hype we're going with here. Realistically, there's a couple of the quarterbacks. We have Matt McGloin, who is serviceable at Penn State, but there's not really a great lineage at the quarterback spot for Penn State. Michael Robinson was probably an option, Kerry Collins. But I figured at no point I don't think there's been more hype around a Penn State quarterback than Christian Hackenberg. And, he somewhat definitely has failed to live up to said hype. I didn't even get the goddamn snap for the Jets next year. So, we'll be rolling with that. I don't know how successful we're going to be, but, we'll try. The running back spot, definitely a little bit better in terms of playmaking. We got Larry Johnson, who was from the Kansas City Chiefs, very productive, had a couple big years. But the main starter is John Cappelletti, who was a Heisman Trophy winner, pretty much the best running back in football in 1973, so we'll be using him. I was really tempted to use Saquon Barkley, because Saquon Barkley is one of my favorite players in college football. But you have to go with a tried and true Heisman Trophy winner in John Cappelletti. I said we got to be rolling with that. At the fullback spot, we're going with Franco Harris, 99 overall, one of the best fullbacks in the history of the game, most notably for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, the Steelers great. So he will be our fullback. At the wide receiver spot, again, not a lot of big-time playmakers. We have Bobby Ingram, who's pretty much the consensus top wide receiver in the history of Penn State. I think he was in the 90s at some point. Then we also got Allen Robinson, AR-15, 93 overall. He's a monster. A little bit of down year last year with the Jacksonville Jaguars. But after a monster first season, looking to bounce back next year. We got Derek Moy, who was really productive. I remember back when NCAA 14 and 13, he was always an absolute monster and just a nightmare to cover in those games. So he's an 87. And then we also got Jordan Norwood, who is a current member of the Denver Broncos. But not a great lineage of wide receivers here. More so, let's be honest, it's the offensive line and the linebackers for Penn State, in my honest opinion. At the tight end spot, we could have went with Kyle Brady. Well, we went with Andrew Corliss, who, statistically speaking, is probably the best tight end in the history of the college of Penn State. I think he spent some time with the Green Bay Packers, most notably. But yeah, again, not a big flashy name. On the offensive line, we moved Steve Wisniewski to a tackle spot. He was a very talented interior guard for the Oakland Raiders. Whose son is also featured on this team, and he's a member of the Philadelphia Eagles, but he is certainly a legend. At left guard, we're going with Mike Munchak, who's a legendary Tennessee Titan, Houston Oiler, 99 overall, one of the greatest players to ever play for Penn State. At center, we're going with Steven Wisniewski of the Philadelphia Eagles, Jacksonville Jaguars, Oakland Raiders, playing with his dad on this line. 92, we got John Urschel, who's making some plays here, the smartest man in the NFL, with a 90. And at right tackle, we're going Johnny Troutman, 87. Yeah, that guy looks hideous looking. On the defense side of the ball, this is where things start to pick up here a little bit. We got Cam Wake. Actually, we'll give Tom Bahali some love here as an end. Cam Wake, obviously, went undrafted, had to go up to the CFL and hone his craft, but once he's gotten in the NFL, he's been one of the better edge rushers for the last 7 years, so we gave him a 95 overall. We also have Tom Bahali, who is an outside linebacker, but for our scheme, we switched it from a 3-4 to a 4-3. He's a 95 end. And at right defensive end, we have Courtney Brown, who was a first overall pick, labeled as a bust, but while he was at Penn State, there's a show that he may be the best Penn State player ever on the defensive side of the ball. I can't remember what year he went. It was in the 90s. But yeah, he was the first overall pick one year after dominating at Penn State. Everyone thought this guy was going to be, the next, just the next freak, the guy that's going to take over for a decade. Didn't quite turn out that way, but we're going to show him love and give him a 99. Defensive tackle, we're going with Jarrett Audrick and Austin Johnson. Austin Johnson just recently picked up the Titans, struggled to stay healthy, but look for a bigger impact from him next season. And then we have Jarrett Audrick, who's bounced around the league here a little bit, but for my money was most influential while he was a member of the Miami Dolphins. At outside linebacker, we have Jack Ham, who's one of the greatest linebackers in the history of football. Pittsburgh Steelers, a member of that steel curtain. Easy to give him a 99. Middle linebacker, we got Navarro Bowman and Paul Posluszny. We got Matt Millen. We got Shane Conlon. Legends on legends on legends on legends. It may be more beneficial to do a 3-4 so we can have both Bowman and Paul Posluszny on the field at the same time. But for my money, Bowman, for what he did at Penn State, which he was a very good linebacker. I remember during the draft, I wanted Philadelphia Eagles to draft him, and then he slipped to, I think, the third round to the San Francisco 49ers. And I was very livid. And then in the NFL, I think when all said and done, man, he might even be better than a Conlan and a Matt Millen. I think he may come down as the best middle linebacker to ever come out of Penn State and translate to the NFL. And a right outside linebacker, this was tough going between Holly and Sean Lee, but Sean Lee is more conducive to our 4-3 scheme. Big-time playmaker for the Dallas Cowboys. I personally feel that he's been better in the pros than he was at college. That's why he only has the 93 overall. And he's actually, I'm pretty sure I gave him a 95, and because of the scheme, he bumps down to a 93. I don't know why that is, but Sean Lee is a beast for the Dallas Cowboys when he is healthy, so we'll be rolling with him. The secondary, this is where it got a little bit tough. We got Alan Zamatis, who had 10 picks in one season, or 13 picks, I believe, in one season back in the early 2000s. So we gave him a 93. Of Jordan Lucas, who's a current rookie, we gave him an 87. And Mark Robinson, who we gave an 85 again. Don't know who the fuck any of these guys are, to be completely honest with you. I had to do a dig deep into what people thought were the consensus defensive backs, all defensive backs for the all-time Penn State team. And these are who we got. I kept Adrian Amos here as the free safety, who's a very productive member of the Chicago Bears. Had an outstanding rookie season for them. So we gave him an 88. And at strong safety, we have Neil Smith, who's back from like the 60s, who I think holds a bunch of interception records still for Penn State. We gave him a 92, but I mean, who gives a fuck about guys that played in the 60s? But for overall, this roster here is predominantly going to be about the offensive line and the linebacking core. So hopefully that will be enough to get us into a playoff spot. You guys know how we do this. We simulate to the half-season point, and then we'll play divisional matchups. And hopefully we make a playoff push. So, yeah, what's going on, guys? Been a little bit of a while since we talked. We currently have one mod. I will give one more person mod privileges if you want to be a mod. All you need to do is ban fucking assholes that are dropping N-bombs. I reset all my mods, so... Why do I like the Eagles? I like the Eagles because when hockey went on a lockout in the early 2000s, I think it was 2002, I wanted to get into football because there was no hockey on, and I just picked the team, the Eagles. I liked them in Madden. I like Brian Dawkins. I just saw some specials on Brian Dawkins. Like, that guy is the fucking man, and I was an Eagles fan from 2003 onward. King Josh can be the mod because he was a mod last time. Tyler, I would make you a mod, but can I be mode? I don't know. Unless it's a play off of beast mode. I don't know. EDP just say the Eagles took Joe Mixon off the board. How do you feel about that? Don't think they did that. I think a report came out and said that they got the okay from Jeffrey Lurie to draft him. So he's probably just trying to be clickbaity. As we're 7-1. All right. That's rock and roll. R.I.P. to Aaron Hernandez. Yes, I was, as the Florida Gator fan of me, was really battling with my inner demons to make this a Aaron Hernandez tribute night. But, we'll just stick with the Penn State rosters. It's already dark enough with Penn State's history looming over our heads. But we're off to an 8-1 start, which is kind of surprising, to be completely honest with you. We only have an 85 overall quarterback. But obviously our defense is getting it done. So let's play this game here against the 5-5 Tennessee Titans. 0405 was the lockout. Yes. So right before, I remember there was rumblings that there was going to be lockout in the at the end of 2013 in the off season of hockey. And it's like that summer, they're saying like, oh yeah, like if they don't get this stuff extended, there's gonna be a lockout. And like up here in Canada, like every day, there was like, yeah, so get ready for this being the last season of hockey because it looks like 0405 they're not gonna get a bargaining agreement or something like that. So I was like, what the fuck else am I gonna do if there's no hockey next year? So I've always played Madden, but I just never really took interest in one of the teams. And then I picked the Philadelphia Eagles. So hockey, and I haven't watched hockey since then. That was the day hockey died. Thank you for the donation, JK Prime. Appreciate it. Especially the mock drafts. Okay, I'm going to talk something about the mock drafts. Someone made it very clear to me. Well, not really clear. He sent me a tweet that I didn't have Jamal Adams at all included in any of my mock drafts. And at first I was like, this guy's trolling me, right? Then I fucking looked at it. And I had Jamal Adams going to the Titans, but then I switched it last second to Corey Davis. But in my list of players, my player sheet, I marked Jamal Adams off. So 100%, you probably should take that money back. So clearly my mock drafts are trash if I completely left Jamal Adams off of my full 7-round mock draft series. I mean, what kind of guy does that? Says he knows football. It doesn't have maybe the safest prospect in this year's draft class, you know? But I will say I did work on... Actually, last night, 42 minutes, I recorded my final 32-team mock draft, which will be coming out next Tuesday. I got a fucking frog in my throat. Next Tuesday will be a full 32-team mock draft. Next Wednesday will be on my finals Eagles mock draft. And then Thursday, get ready for draft spam. If you guys don't give a shit about the draft, you're going to hate my channel. Because what we're going to be doing is making a video after every single pick. And it's going to be pretty annoying. But I got to make that YouTube money if I can't live stream. I'm not allowed to live stream. It's not going to work out this year. It will be the plan next season. So yeah, but it's going to be a fun time for all you that can... Oh my God, that was a bad throw. For everyone that can join us next year, that's going to be good. Saquon or Christian McCaffrey? As much as I do like Christian McCaffrey, Barkley is the better running back. Interesting. They're pretty similar in terms of play style. But yeah, Barkley is going to be an absolute game changer at the next level. What's up, everybody? Do I think the Eagles can land Chris Godwin? I think if they want to, they won't get him in the second round. But if he's there in the third round when they're picking, because we lost a couple spots there in the Timmy Jernigan trade. If he's still there at 99, I wouldn't be against Chris Godwin. Look at his Penn State game, or the Penn State USC Rose Bowl. Incredible, and he had a really productive season. I was always high on him more than other people. Not saying like, oh, I called Chris Godwin, but I mean, there was some times when he was like, you look at a lot of people's big boards. He was a 6th-round pick. I always had him as a 4th-round pick. After he had a really good combine, I think you could probably consider him to be a lock now for, 3rd round. Who knows? Who's your favorite Penn starter? Penn Stater? I'm not a big... I don't hate Penn State. Obviously, it's easy to joke about their history, which is not really good. But James Franklin was one of my favorite coaches at Vandy, and then he went to Penn State. I like Penn State more than I used to. And my favorite player is definitely Saquon Barkley. Very exciting. I'm not a believer in Trace McSorley. I think Trace McSorley is a college quarterback through and through. I don't necessarily think he will transition well. I don't think he's going to be an NFL quarterback. He's just literally like... He reminds me of like Jeff Toole. When Jeff Toole was playing for the... When you watch Jeff Toole when he played for the Buffalo Bills for like 2 games, literally every pass he had was like a fucking Hail Mary. It made no sense. He just would throw it 40 yards downfield to like Sammy Watkins or something like that. And that's what I see with Trace McSorley. Just not a lot of traits that you want. He's undersized for a pro quarterback. But that being said, exciting college quarterback. So I'm pulling for Penn State. And the real icing on the cake that maybe like, you know what? Penn State's not that bad, all right? We need to move on from their history. Was when they got absolutely robbed last year of a playoff spot over Ohio State. Is Ohio State a better team? Yes, they are. But Ohio State lost to Penn State. Because of that loss, they lost their conference to Penn State. Penn State won the championship, yet you'd have Ohio State, the runner-up, going to the college football playoff. It made no fucking sense. And it was more than enough proof to me that they need to expand the college football playoff to, I don't know what it was, 6 or 8 teams is like the recommendation, but they need to make it bigger because I don't think Ohio State, that was fucking bullshit. I don't know if that was payback for all like the Penn State bullshit. I'm not exactly sure, but it was kind of rough. But when you win the Big Ten and you don't get into the college football playoff, and a team that lost the Big Ten, that's the way to put it. They won the Big Ten, didn't get in. Team that lost the Big Ten got in? That makes no sense to me. Boom! Oh, come on. Do you think the Dolphins should trade for Sherman and Lynch? What does that mean? Are they rumored to trade for Richard Sherman and Marshawn Lynch? I don't think they could I don't think they have the cap to take on Richard Sherman. I think that's what happens when you pay Ndamukong Suh like starting quarterback money. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. If Penn State would have made it, they would have lost. But it's just the principle that they got overlooked for Ohio State, simply probably because of views. I don't know. They thought Ohio State would bring more viewers. I don't know. But yeah, they would definitely have been the weakest team of the four. But it's the principle that they didn't even get to make it, and they took Penn State. Oh, it was good coverage. Luckily enough, Ohio State got spanked, but still. Not cool in my books. I want to go for this. NCAA 18 was just announced to come out. What a fucking troll. Oh, there we go, baby. That's what we do. When are you going to do Madden Greats? I'm doing the Madden Greats after I finish this series. So we got 9 more teams to go. That's probably going to be a month. But basically, there's a down period after the draft where we have May and June. May and June, July even. So you're going to be seeing a lot of Madden Greats during that time. The Madden Greats series, I have it planned. Because there's 32 episodes, we're doing all 32 teams. Some of them will be used as live streams. Others will just be scheduled uploads. But still, you best believe you get your daily upload here on Beast Mode TV. A Beast Mode TV, a C4 video a day will keep the doctor away. What do I think about the 49ers? I think they're going to suck next year. I don't see there's any way that the Niners are going to be good next season. It's Javon Curse going to sack, god damn it. But it's a process. You got to trust the process. That's all you got to do. Who do I think wins the Big Ten this year? I think it's going to be the same thing. I think Ohio State and Penn State probably are going to be the 2 big dogs. Oh my god. What? Fuck's sakes. National playoff next year. Probably Bama. I don't know. I'm probably sleeping on Michigan, to be completely honest with you, but... Oh! Let's go! Bobby Ingram. To the house. Woo! That's a good opener. Good fucking opener right there. Who do I think the Pats will draft and what their team... Okay, obviously the Patriots are going to be the favorites to dominate. And they don't pick to the 3rd round, but in my last mock draft, I had them going Ryan Anderson, the outside linebacker from Alabama. That's probably going to be my pick. Oh, of course we give up a touchdown. Thank you. Hashtag thank you, Andre. Yes, for sure. One of my favorite players. All right, we just got to get in field goal range. Let's get it. What do you think about the Vikings? And will their 7-round... I'm doing every team 7-round mock. So at the end, right, like the last pick in 32 is the Saints. You're still going to get the Patriots, the Vikings, and the Rams. Teams that don't have first-round picks. Of course I did them. Oh! They're going to try to ice me. Look at that. Look at those motherfuckers. See what I learned, though. I learned. See, I can run this shit. I can go play type. I can go clock management. I can go QB kneel and then burn a timeout. Get out of that. That's what I learned. What are your thoughts on Colin Kaepernick? I have a hot take on Colin Kaepernick, to be completely honest with you. And it's, if people are saying racist, teams are being racist, teams are doing this, teams are doing that. But I think if it's Colin Kaepernick's right to take a knee and express his opinion that way, I think it's the team's right to not want to bring him on the roster and have that added distraction. As we tie this ball game up and we're forcing it to overtime. 90 points scored on the board today. Feeling this Penn State. Oh, shit. Is there going to be an Ohio State roster? Yes, they are much higher up this list. Best kicker on YouTube? You goddamn right. Ah, shit. All right, we're going to put our faith in the computer here to get us the ball. Damn it! Well, it was a valiant effort. Our defense couldn't come through in the end. 6 total touchdowns for Christian Hackenberg. 437 yards, 6 touchdowns, no picks. We couldn't stop Earl Campbell. I mean, my God. That was an exciting game. 8-1, now we're 8-2. Can you do the Buckeyes? Ohio State, I'll tell you right now. Ohio State, I think they are number 5. Ohio State are number 3. So we're getting there eventually. What do we got for some questions here? Do you think the Giants can make it back to the playoffs? As an Eagle fan, I'm going to say I fucking hope not. Teddy Bridgewater thoughts. I think Teddy Bridgewater will... what the fuck is this? Tut Oriole? Need that shit. Probably won't play next year. 2018 season, maybe. I bet you Toke snorts a lot of coke before a video. Yeah, fucking dick coke. Ah, and by snort, I mean suck. Kaepernick donates money for charity. No team because distracts Ray Lewis murders someone. It's not that. It's just the whole media attention that comes with it. It's the same thing with Tebow. People aren't shouting, we're racist against Tim Tebow because of the traction that he brings, the unnecessary headaches. It's just, it's understood. And I think the same thing, Colin Kaepernick doesn't go into a racist category. Colin Kaepernick goes into the Tim Tebow category. He's not really that good. Any team that gives him an opportunity, that's all it is. He's not coming in as a starter. It's giving an opportunity. And you got to look at it as like, there's going to be lots of people talking about your backup quarterback. That's a scenario that not a lot of teams want. We got some fucking injuries. What the hell? Who's hurt? I thought I turned injuries off. Audric, Sean Lee. Ah, fuck me. Alright, we're gonna see if we can pop these injuries off. I want that shit. One of my best players playing the whole time. We're not going for fucking crazy realism over here. Get that shit off. Are you live streaming the Chip Kelly? Okay, what do we got? What do you think Tom Brady would do? Tom Brady's probably going to be maybe the front runner for Heisman next year, given that team around him. Do I think Hackenberg has an NFL future? I want to... Oh, my God, the 0-12 Texans. I want to see him play. I haven't seen him take a goddamn snap outside the preseason. He didn't look great in the preseason, but it's too early to say. Are you live streaming the Chip Kelly rebuild tomorrow or Friday? I don't think so, just because I want to live stream the volunteers. So I think tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to go to the beer store, grab a couple brewskis, and then tomorrow night I'll record the Chip Kelly rebuilds, the Dallas Cowboys, and that'll be uploaded Friday afternoon, and then Friday night we'll have a Tennessee Volunteers live stream. Who's going to be Texas starting quarterback? Probably Buechele. Why don't you like Dak Prescott? Because he's the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. Did you like Aaron Hernandez before he killed? Yes, I did like Aaron Hernandez. He was the best tight end I've ever seen. Darren Hernandez is better than Jordan Reed. I love Jordan Reed, even though he's on the Redskins. But in terms of a prospect coming out, Aaron Hernandez was better than Jordan Reed. Say my name. Well, I'm not gonna do that. You say my name, I'll say your name. When are you gonna do the Texas roster? I think Texas are number 4, so they're coming. Don't worry, we'll do the Longhorns sooner than later. What kind of beer do you drink? I don't know what I'm gonna buy tomorrow. I might buy Bud Light Platinum. I might buy just something simple like a Coors Light. I don't want anything heavy because I have to talk a lot. I'm gonna be talking for close to an hour. So I don't want anything that's gonna fucking, be coming its way up because I'm sucking air over here. Hernandez was never good as Reed is now. No, but is that what I don't know if you're contradicting me. I said the better tight end coming. Who's the better tight end prospect? And it was Aaron Hernandez. Plus, you can't really say that because Aaron Hernandez was always second fiddle to Rob Gronkowski. If Aaron Hernandez was on a team that got nearly as many, I think partial Jordan Reed, very good receiving tight end. Don't get me wrong, but he is like the main focal point of that offense. They had Pierre Garçon, you have Deshaun Jackson, but more often than not, Kirk Cousins was looking for Jordan Reed. If you put Aaron Hernandez in that scheme, I think he'd have similar stats. Do you think Alshon Jeffrey will be a bust? I think he needs to stay on the field. Oh, shit. Buy some Coors. Coors is my shit. It is the banquet beer. I very well might buy it. Usually I buy what's on sale. I'm not too picky. You drink Bailey straight? Nice. All right, Colton. You can get a shout out. Can I get a legendary Temple roster? So I've got some pretty random suggestions for what rosters I should do. Oh, that's good right there. Andrew Corliss, big time reception. I may, depending on if enough people want, I may just do a couple other teams that aren't included in the 25. I know Stanford wasn't, Oregon wasn't. I've got a couple requests for Virginia Tech. Plus, I do support the Philly team in Temple Owls. So, I don't know, maybe. Great pickup from the offensive line, but we got to throw it away. What do you think of Geronimo Allison from Green Bay? Thought he was going to be a late-round sleeper last year. And some upside there for Green Bay. You think Cleveland will ever get a Super Bowl win? If they hit on their next 2 drafts, they have enough draft picks that, they could have a new wave of freak team. The fact that they pretty much have the monopoly of the first 3 rounds for the next 2 drafts. They hit on even 50% of those picks. They're going to have a good team. Especially the Steelers are getting old. If the Steelers don't properly prepare for life after Ben Roethlisberger, I mean, there's room for the Cleveland Browns to gain. There's Capoletti. You got Flacco. It's not that great. Your Ravens always got to have a good defense, but offensively, I mean, there's more room there. And the Bengals again. Bengals just can't get the job done, and they're letting the window. I think the Cincinnati Bengals are letting that window slip beyond them right now by having Marvin Lewis as their head coach. The Bengals should have been a team that's on the cusp of winning a Super Bowl. And right now they've been the team that's on the cusp of making the playoffs. So I think personally they've been underachieving. So yeah, my answer to that would be I for sure think that the Browns within the next 7 years, 5, 6, 7 years, they could very well be a big dog in the AFC. Will the 49ers trade down? If I'm the Niners, I would trade down. You have more than enough holes, and number 2 is kind of a shitty pick this year. Preferably, you might want to flip that to a team that's not going to draft what you want. And I think if they can flip that to the Carolina Panthers, because the Panthers want to come up to get Leonard Fournette, they could probably, they could be 8? At 8, you could still probably get a good edge rusher. You could still probably get the best corner. If you want, Lattimore might still be there at 8. You never know. You drink Blue Moon? Blue Moon's cheap-ass beer up here in Canada. Stella Artois. I had a big Stella Artois. That was my first, I think he fancy beer in high school. But, I don't know. I don't know if they changed anything. I just, it used to be a beer of choice, and then I just stopped liking it. Favorite bottled beer probably is Bud Light Platinum, because it tastes for some reason like it's tap. And beer on tap is the shit. I might buy that for tomorrow. I don't know. It's a little bit more expensive, though. Who knows? Oh, I'll tell you what sucks though. Canadian beer sucks. On the topic of beer, overrated. Where do you think Saquon will go? Well, if the Philadelphia Eagles pass on a running back, I would love Saquon Barkley in the first round next year. But he's probably going to be top, I don't know. Oh, there we go. Fighting our way in. User stumble recovery. Speaking of beer, Bud just fucking finds his way. Let's get it. Will the Eagles trade down if there isn't a good prospect at 14? They might, but I can't see there being no one at 14 that would be worth that pick. I'm gonna say, looking at how the board will go, I'm gonna feel that at 14, there's gonna be Derek Barnett, who I absolutely don't want, but he's gonna be there. Potentially, you're gonna have maybe Reuben Foster. You're gonna have Garyon Conley, Christian McCaffrey. I personally would rather draft one of those guys than trading back, but who knows? I'll let my thoughts know when it gets about to pick 10 in the NFL draft next Thursday. Anyone know? While you guys are asking me questions, it's time for me to ask you questions. What is a Discord chat server, and should I look into setting one up? I've heard good things, but I don't really know what it is or would I use it, but I've heard good things. Most annoying fan base? Probably the Cowboys. Just judging from the internet, I'm going to say the Cowboys. Where I live, definitely the Patriots. It's basically free team speak. I don't know what that is either. You guys need to understand that I'm not old, but I like, when I find something I like, I just never move past. I never look for new things. I get kind of what it is. Like, isn't it like a chat where you can just type, like kind of what you have here, but you can also have voice chat? Yeah, I don't really think there's not much of a use for this. Oh, let's go Ingram. I'm liking this Bobby Ingram guy. He's beating his corners like a drum. Skype without video. That's kind of cool. I don't know when the fuck I'd ever use that, but I might look into it. I made a Facebook page. If you guys use Facebook, if you type in Papa C4, you'll find the page. I don't know literally why you do that, but if you have Facebook, feel free to do that. I basically made it. I said on Twitter, I made it because there's a lot of Eagle fan pages I follow on my personal Facebook. I don't really use Facebook anymore anyways. But when I like to comment on it, a lot of my comments get to like the top fucking post on the things that get the most likes. Because obviously, I speak for a large majority of the Philadelphia Eagle fan base. So I figure, why not make it so that when I post those fucking hot takes, it brings some attention to my YouTube channel. So yeah, Papa C4 on Facebook. We got that. See how we're expanding here. But, yeah. That's what's going on here. Oh, that's a pick. Ooh, maybe not. Yo, Beastman, what do you think of Tom Savage? Okay. Here's my Tom Savage thought. I really liked Tom Savage coming out of college 3 years ago, out of Pitt. I thought he was going to be like the sleeper. I'm going to take a little swig here of my root beer. No beer tonight, only root beer. Ah. Look at this. We're at Colts coach feeling like Peyton Manning, just letting the clock run down here. So, yeah, Tom Savage was one of my favorite prospects in that draft class. He was my sleeper quarterback. I think, given the opportunity and the proper team, and he's in a good system, very quarterback-friendly offense of Bill O'Brien. You have one of the best wide receivers in the game in Hopkins. You got an emerging tight end in Fedorowicz. You have a nice run game. I think Tom Savage could be serviceable. I personally believe if they don't feel like they need to reach for a quarterback, you can get by with Tom Savage and look at getting a quarterback next year. What I think will happen, though, is I think they will draft a quarterback at 26. I think if Pat Mahomes is there, they will get him. Oh, my God. Ooh. Oh. But I like Tom Savage, to be completely honest with you. Like if I was looking right now at all the teams, and you said I had to pick a quarterback that's a backup, not a starter, Tom Savage would probably be high on my list just to give him an opportunity. You're not paying him. You're not paying him fucking Brock Osweiler money. And I wish I could timestamp. I said it in some point in the video that last year before any moves happened, someone said, "Do you think the Texans should get Brock Osweiler?" And I said, I would rather Tom Savage than Brock Osweiler on my roster. Now, who looks like the smart fucking guy? But then again, I was ranting and raving about how the Texans were almost a 100% guarantee got to get Tony Romo, and now he just took Phil Simms' job. So what the fuck do I know? Huh? As we are body bagging right now, we're going to spot a 2-wide banana somewhere out there in the world. You know what it is. John Gruden's getting a hard on. Do you like Mike Gesicki? That's the tight end, right? The Penn State tight end. He's solid. Not as good as Barkley, but he's solid. What are your top 5 favorite and least favorite teams? Well, I only have one team, which is the Philadelphia Eagles. But teams I enjoy, I'd say it's probably in for favorites. Philly, number 1. And then everyone else, it'd be the Raiders, the Steelers. Raiders, the Steelers. I didn't really mind the Seahawks when the Seahawks were really good. I didn't really mind because they did it right. You saw my justification for kind of not hating the Seahawks is that when you see teams like the Denver Broncos, they're trying to go big in free agency. They're trying to spend big in free agency. They brought in Peyton Manning. They got a QB for hire. The Seahawks, they drafted well. They did it the right way. So the Seahawks, I don't mind the Cardinals either, even though they fucking embarrassed the Philadelphia Eagles. Texans, there you go. I like the Texans. Andre Johnson is one of my favorite players of all time. Vikings, another one. Adrian Peterson's one of my favorite players. Okay, that would be my top 5. Eagles, number 1. And then the rest of the 4 would be the Steelers, Raiders, Vikings, and then a toss-up between the Seahawks and Cardinals. Least favorite teams? Cowboys, Giants, Redskins, Patriots, Colts / Broncos. Low-key, I'm a Cowboys fan. You fucking know it, bud. Love the Cowboys. What do you think about the Jaguars next year? They have a stacked roster. They had the same assumed stacked roster last year, and they didn't do shit. So the proof is in the pudding for the Jaguars. I wasn't here in the beginning. Did you have Kerry Collins on the team? No, I admitted Kerry Collins and Michael Robinson at the quarterback spot to go with Christian Hackenberg and Matt McGloin. Kind of a hot take, but yeah, you know. I personally think my justification, just for you, this one segment is just for that one guy, is that looking at the quarterback spot, there's never been a really great quarterback for Penn State, but I have to think in terms of hype, there's been no one more hype than the year after Christian Hackenberg started. He was probably the most hyped quarterback Penn State ever had, so we rolled with him. Plus, I didn't have to create him. Made it a little bit less time-consuming. As we get ready for the final matchup here, as we're well on our way to a playoff berth, which is nice. C4, do you have any asshole teachers in school? Yes, my math teacher was a fucking dickhead. Favorite and least favorite college football teams? My favorite team, obviously, I am a Florida Gator fan. I also enjoy watching... I said I like watching teams in every conference. I can't remember all of them right now. Clemson. I like Clemson because of Brian Dawkins, and I've always been orange. You know, the typical girl approach. I like their jerseys. Pac-12, I enjoy a couple teams. Obviously, the Ducks were exciting to watch, but I've always been a Washington fan. Washington, because they seem like the only team that ever really wants to play defense in the Pac-12. Baylor, I like just the fucking teams that don't make me feel like I'm wasting my time watching them play. It's easier to talk about the teams I hate than the teams I like, because I'm a huge fan of college football. I like watching just good college football, so it's easier for me to say teams I hate. I hate USC, I hate Florida State, I hate Alabama, I hate Texas, Notre Dame. I pretty much hate every popular team. Thoughts on the Bears signing smaller name free agents on prove yourself deals? Smart way to do it. I heard that wasn't because of choice. I heard reports that a lot of free agents didn't want to sign with the Bears because of uncertainty. So I don't know if that's what they're trying to like make it appear to be. Like, oh, we're meaning to do this. But I like the signings that they made. Demps was a good signing. Mike Glennon, Not a huge fan of the contract, but Mike Glennon's not a bad sign. Good upside there. I still just, obviously, it's going to sting when you lose Alshon Jeffrey. You lose pretty much your best playmaker on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, Jordan Howard surely is emerging there, but you still probably have to give that tag to Alshon. But I think the Bears, they're doing a decent job. I still think last year, I can't believe they got fucking Trevathan and Darrell Freeman. Excellent business. So, they're a good front office there, for the most part. Trace McSorley is going to be more hyped than Hackenberg. Maybe. What would have happened if your girl was a Cowboys fan? She didn't watch football before she met me. And I know you guys, she's done a couple videos. You wouldn't have guessed it. Well, maybe you would have. But yeah, she didn't know anything about football when we first met. And then 6.5 years later, she knows in my fantasy football league. She's in my fantasy football league. She probably knows more football than probably, it's a 10-man league. Probably, there's like three people in the league she knows more football about. But yeah, if she was a Cowgirls fan, I don't know. But luckily enough, I pretty much get to pick her team. And she might be changing her team. She likes the Eagles, obviously, because you have to like the Eagles. But she's a Lions fan. And I said, okay, you can be a Lions fan. Fair enough. I bought her a Barry Sanders jersey. She got a Megatron jersey. But I said the Raiders are moving to Las Vegas. So hypothetically speaking, you can get behind a new team if you choose the Raiders. And we've always liked the Raiders here. She's a big fan of Marshawn Lynch. So she may be sliding over to Raider Nation, which means she may get a gang tattoo. I'm not exactly sure how that works. But yeah, luckily, she's not a Cowboys fan. Jesus Christ. Is Stanford coming? No, they're pretty much the one team I was surprised didn't make this list, is Stanford. I might just do them in a bonus episode. If I did a bonus episode, the first team that would be is Stanford, because I think their roster is fairly stacked, to be honest with you. What's more annoying, the Sim and Madden or auto draft in fantasy football? Sim and Madden. Because the auto draft, it goes off like a predetermined rankings. The Sim in this, I'm pretty sure they're scripting. I'm pretty sure that like the game will like randomly just fuck you at certain points. The fact that I can predict what happens sometimes, I'm not Nostradamus over here. Definitely when I do my things I want to be seen in Madden 18 video, the top 10, I don't know, changes or whatever, improving this is definitely one of them. Especially because I've probably used this sim more than anyone on fucking YouTube. Maybe in the whole Madden console. Let's get this thing on the fast sim here. Who's the safest fantasy player this year? Keep an eye on David Johnson. If he comes back fully healthy, he's going to be the safest. He fucking gets more targets. If you're in a PPR league, he gets like as much receptions as a lot of wide receivers. And then he's also a very good running back. Unfortunately, I think I pick like 8th in my league, so I don't have a fucking hope in hell of getting him. Hopefully I get my boy Mike Evans, who always does work for me. That's probably going to be my first round pick. My keeper sucked this year. We do a keeper league where, there's some, certain rules. My team's not hot, though. Right now, my best keeper might be Fat Rob for the Redskins. And I don't even know if he's going to be a starter next year. They might get a running back. They might get Dalvin Cook if he slips in the draft. So I'm a little bit worried there about my keepers. Thoughts on Russell Wilson? Good. Being able to stay alive, be on that offensive line, you got to give him credit. Plus, he won the Super Bowl. Do you know the RB from Stanford called Trevor Spike? No idea. Not off the top of my head. Rumor says Eagles took Mixon off the draft board. Thoughts? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that rumor was debunked, where it said Philadelphia is one of the few teams whose owner gave an okay to draft Joe Mixon. So I've seen, basically, that's a report from Howard Eskin. He's a fucking old man, out of touch, just idiot. Zeke is the best bet to get in fantasy. If you're in a non-PPR league, Zeke, yeah. But if you're in a PPR league, it's Le'Veon Bell and David Johnson are higher than fucking Ezekiel Elliott. Do I think the Philadelphia Eagles will get Joe Mixon? Oh my god. Oh! Big time play. I don't think they will, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think they're going to take that headache. And every year, there's a prospect where I suggest they should get. I'm not saying that I'm the only fucking guy, and I own that. I know that's a popular thing to say. I started something, I own it here on YouTube, but Garyon Conley and Joe Mixon. Those are the two guys that should be first, second round when the Eagles pick. It seems to make a whole lot of sense. Seems like a lot of people would like that, which means it's not going to happen. So that's the way things usually fucking go. I'm sorry to tell you that. Anytime I get hyped behind a prospect, Philadelphia, outside of literally, it kind of sucks now looking in retrospect. The only two prospects since I've been a diehard fan that they have, I've come to accept the Lane Johnsons and the Carson Wentzes later on. I'm pretty sure in my final Eagles mock draft, I would come to Lane Johnson and Carson Wentz. Actually, I'm pretty sure I did. But the two prospects early on, since I've been an Eagle fan and doing these mock draft videos, that the Eagles have actually traded and got, or drafted, sometimes they had to trade, was Fletcher Cox and Eric Rowe. One of those worked out pretty good. One of the other ones maybe will work out pretty good for the fucking Patriots. But more often than not, when I follow the prospect, the Philadelphia Eagles won't draft them. So sorry, everyone that wants Garyon Conley and Joe Mixon, as we were just abusing this road here with Derek Moy. Don't draft a running back and wait for Saquon Barkley next year. Thing is, I don't think the Eagles are going to suck enough to be able to draft Saquon Barkley. But if you told me, if I can look in hindsight and say if we don't draft Joe Mixon this year and next year we could get Saquon Barkley or Darius Geis, I'd probably be all right with that. Oh, take a hit there, Hackenberg. Should the 49ers trade back? I think they should. Have you seen Joe Williams, running back from Utah? What do you think? Didn't he retire? Didn't he retire then come out of retirement? Probably just a late round running back. Then again, the last late round running back was Aaron Jones from UTEP, and then I've already told the story. He pretty much tried to shit talk me on Twitter. It was kind of funny. I guess my voice is heard by some guys that are actual prospects, which is fucking cool. Carlos Hyde underrated. I think he's slightly underrated. I think he's underrated when you're talking about people saying that the Niners should move on from him. I think when he's healthy, especially now in a new system, in a Kyle Shanahan system, we saw what running backs did. Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman. Pretty much Carlos Hyde's like a combination of the two. I think he'll be fine next year. More so, I think he'll be fine. I don't know if that offensive line is going to be good enough to help him out. Oh, let's go Ingram. This play is working like a fucking charm. If Joe Mixon doesn't go to the Eagles, who do you want them to take? I assume you're talking for the second round. If it's the second round, I wouldn't mind double dipping on corners, to be completely honest with you. I think looking at the Eagles, you may be able to get, if they got Garyon Conley in the first, in the second round, you might be able to get like a Cam Sutton from Tennessee. I like him. Someone might slip like Trey White. The mix of like a Trey White, Adoree Jackson, Tease Tabor, Quincy Wilson, Ahkello Witherspoon, Kevin King. I think one of those guys will probably still be there when the Eagles pick in the second round. I'd be all over that. Marlon Humphrey. Donald Pumphrey good. I think Donald Pumphrey be gimmicky in the NFL. I think he'll be able to find a role somewhere. What do you think of Eddie Lacy's weight clause? Oh, the old feast mode clause. I think it's a joke. I think that the Seahawks were perfectly fine at the running back spot with Procise, Rawls, and Alex Collins, and I didn't like that move for them. Derek Carr, perfect. Derek Carr, perfect quarterback. Let's see what happens when he comes back from his injury before we start saying that. But yes, that's one of the times I was right when I said Derek Carr was my favorite quarterback of that draft class. I didn't really receive a lot of flack because there was a couple people that thought that as well. I wasn't the only one. But the fact they went to the second round, Derek Carr, me and my buddy were actually super high on Derek Carr, and it's great seeing. That's like one of those ones that like Derek Carr's a guy in regards to talking about college prospects, at least here on the YouTube platform. I was right on Derek Carr. I said he was going to be the best quarterback in that year's draft class. Bada boom, probably is. You should become a stand-up comedian just for EDP and Madden YouTubers. Yeah, but that's fucking... People that do roast channels, that's how you get fucking YouTube to pull your ads and stuff, because people think you're just like a shit disturber. I'm fine where I'm at. As long as no one else there wants to come over here to Beast Mode's cave and poke the bear, we'll be fine. We'll be fine here in our own little world. Let everyone else do what the fuck they want to do. Oh, let's go, Corliss. At RB, if Eagles don't get mixed in, who do you think we should get? Looking at the draft, I personally am high on Jeremy McNichols from Boise State. You could probably get him in the 5th round. I'd be all right with that. But if not, they're probably just going to roll with Smallwood. And then if they don't draft a running back, they might actually keep Ryan Matthews on the roster. Who knows? Where do you think AP might end up going? I'd still say keep an eye on Oakland if the Marshawn Lynch thing doesn't really materialize soon. I remember there's some steam coming at 5 touchdowns from Hackenberg. He's gonna have I think Hackenberg's gonna have a godly stats here. He's only an 85 too, which is fairly impressive. Shout out to the offensive line of the Penn State all-time greats. Talk about Adrian Peterson. There was a lot of rumors that he might go to the Saints to be the backup to Mark Ingram. That ain't gonna happen. AP's going to start somewhere. Believe that. I would love to be on, fucking one of those shows. Right now, my goal is to get on a YouTube channel or Eagles. I don't know necessarily if it's like a fucking Facebook page or like a blog or a podcast, but find me an Eagles fan that thinks we should get Derek Barnett. I would love to debate the shit out of them and tell them why they're a fucking idiot. Is Odell gay? Fairly certain he's gay. When is the poll for the Huskies franchise QB? That is coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow night will be when the poll. It's not really a poll. I'm just going to use the comments in the comment section below. But yeah, stay tuned for that shit. All right, so yeah, we made the playoffs here. We're taking on the Denver Broncos, 9-7 Broncos. Let's take a quick look at the final season stats. I think Hackenberg has godly numbers. That was pretty goddamn good for him. 3,600 passing yards, 35 touchdowns, 7 picks. Looks like he was injured as Matt McGloin came in and got 13 touchdowns, 2 picks. So, I mean, hypothetically speaking, you could just add these two for one quarterback. Hackenberg's final stat line probably would have been close to 4,700 yards, 50 touchdowns, 9 picks. It doesn't make sense. That's just insane. Running the ball, we got 1,300 yards and 9 touchdowns from John Capoletti, 15 touchdowns from Larry Johnson. Receiving the ball, we got Andrew Corliss leading the team with 81 receptions, 937 yards, 6 touchdowns. David Moyes, 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns. AR-15, 667, 5. Bobby Ingram, 1,211. God damn. God damn. Defense side of the ball, Navarro Bowman led the team with 113 tackles. We got 17 sacks from Courtney Brown, 11.5 from Cam Wake, and 9 from Austin Johnson. And for interception, 6 from Alan Zemaitis. 3 from Bowman, 3 from Amos. Let's get ready. Use the XP. I'm not going to use the XP because my team's already juiced to the gills. We're a 9-9 offense, 9-9 defense. I think we fine. Watch us lose this game, and I look like a fucking asshole. Who's your personal favorite linebacker? My favorite is Jared Davis from the University of Florida. I do like Hassan Riddick as well. Do I think Jim Kelly was underrated in the 90s? Obviously. He went to 4 fucking Super Bowls. He should be talked about more. Him and Andre Reed. They were a thing of beauty. And Thurman Thomas. Thoughts on Procise? Can I trade for him sometime? Yeah, hell yeah. I might be able to get him. I don't really know what fucking series. Maybe the Eagles one. I think I'm set the running back in the Huskies with Fournette. But yeah, I think Procise is solid. He's one of those hybrid type players. I think the combo of Rawls and Procise is good enough for the Seahawks. I don't really see the Eddie Lacy thing. But I guess durability concerns maybe with Procise and Rawls. So you rock and roll here. How does Chad Kelly do in the NFL? I think he's going to be solid. I think he'll definitely make a final roster, and he'll probably have a couple big games in the preseason. You know how what's his fucking name? The backup there from UCLA in Green Bay. Brett Hundley. You know Brett Hundley's been like the guy. He's had great production in the preseason. He'd be one of those guys right up there with a Tom Savage that if I was looking for a backup quarterback that I'd start a franchise with, Hundley might be it. I think Chad Kelly can be like the next kind of guy that shines in preseason and eventually might get an opportunity somewhere. Oh, let's go. Who says I can't run the ball? White boy, let's go. What's your thought on Mahomes? Big arm, solid prospect. Play draft champions after this. No. Where does Chip Kelly go next to coach? I heard rumors like Army or some shit. He might be like the OC at Army. Best running back in the SEC. I'm biasly going to say Jordan Scarlett. Who do you think the Bears are going to draft? Well, stay tuned to my next mock draft. My final mock draft. I don't want to say next so people are like, oh my god. Give it up with the mock draft content. It's on the defensive side of the ball. And it's not who a lot of people think. Did we miss a fucking extra point? What's your favorite playbook in Madden? I like the Saints. I like the Saints offensive playbook, and I've just come accustomed to using the Eagles. I'm usually just a fan of a base 4-3. In terms of what I could tell works, though, I'd say the best playbook offensively is the Saints. The Saints are the Patriots, and the best defensive play. Oh my god, best defensive playbook's probably the Texans. Corey Davis or Garyon Conley the first. Corey Davis should not be the pick. I think it should be Garyon Conley. You ain't blocking that shit. When is the last Eagles mock draft? It will be out Wednesday. Next Wednesday. With the draft coming up Thursday, I figured the last content should be about my beloved Philadelphia Eagles. Continuing the 4-year tradition where I put my final Eagles mock draft up the day before the draft and get literally usually most of it wrong. I think last year I only had two picks last year. I called Carson Wentz and then I called Destiny Vio as an undrafted free agent. I guess it wasn't really a pick, but I expanded to that just to help me out with my averages. But only 2 guys last year. It was kind of disappointing. What do you think of the experts having Joe Mixon go in the first round, meaning the Eagles miss out on him? I don't think there's a chance he goes in the first round. I saw him going to Green Bay, I think. It was Bucky Brooks. That ain't happening. Thoughts on D.D. Westbrook and Ryan Switzer for late rounds wide receiver in the Eagles? I don't think D.D. Westbrook's going to slip past the 3rd. Switzer, though, is interesting. I'd like that'd be a pick I can get behind. What do you think about McCaffrey to Philly? I'd be all right with that. Even though I really do want a corner, I'd be frustrated if Garyon Conley's still on the board and we go with Christian McCaffrey. But I would take Christian McCaffrey more than I take Derek Barnett. And that's something I do want to say, though, because I do shit talk Derek Barnett a lot. I think he's going to be good in the NFL. I just don't want him on the Eagles. If Derek Barnett turns out to come to Philadelphia and becomes, 15 sacks a year, he can do that. He can very well do it. He goddamn broke Reggie White's sack record at Tennessee. I just don't think it's the best pick for Philadelphia. So if Philly got Derek Barnett, there'll probably be about a week that I'm bitching about it. But then you got to be obviously, the prospect itself having a playmaker like that on the defensive line is not a terrible thing to have. It's not a bad reason to say, oh my god, my defensive line is terrifying. But I just think you got to sure up. Is Derek Barnett going to be able to fucking stop Odell Beckham Jr.? Is Derek Barnett going to be able to stop Dez Bryant? No. That's all you need to know. That's my opinion on that. Garyon Conley has a much better chance of stopping Odell Beckham Jr. than Derek Barnett does. Oh, that's a bad kick. What if Sidney Jones got drafted by Philly in the 5th or 6th? Huge steal. We can help. I'd take him there. There's no chance. I think everyone is seeing that he'll go in probably late 3rd, 4th round. If we get him in the 4th round, maybe. But we need players that can play right away. And I think Sidney Jones might be on the shelf for a hot minute there. D.D. Westbrook could be a 2nd rounder if he didn't have off-field issues. I agree. Goddamn Heisman shortlist. All right, come on. Let's keep this stream going. I'm not trying to be creepy. What city in Canada are you in? I'm on the East Coast. I don't tell people where I live. People are fucking weird. Jordan Lewis in the third to the Eagles. Jordan Lewis, I did that video, if you guys haven't checked it out, where I talked about and rated all the prospects that the Eagles may want to take at the cornerback spot. Jordan Lewis pretty much in the history of Jim Schwartz and teams that he's been on when they draft a corner. Jordan Lewis is pretty much like the carbon copy. Like the prototypical corner that a Jim Schwartz team drafts is the guy like Jordan Lewis. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's wearing an Eagles jersey. Even though another guy with some off-the-field issues. Halifax. I do not live in Halifax. Hate Halifax. Goddamn. Fucking. Everything's on a hill in Halifax. Do I live in New Brunswick? Oh, you mean the place where they speak French, not really English? No, I do not live there. Will Burke, NFL career, Jared Goff or Trubisky? Tough to say. Fairly evil. I think they're going to be on fairly even playing field. St. John. I don't know if that's in Newfoundland or New Brunswick. Do you see the Eagles trading back into the first? Get 2 first-rounders. I don't think that they can get 2 first-rounders. Oh, god damn it, delay a game. Who do you hate more, Des Bryant, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, or Tom Brady? Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's my most hated NFL player ever. Do you think John Lynch would be a good GM? We got to wait and see. Not a huge fan of his free agency signings. I don't think he did any good ones. I don't think he made any bad ones, to his credit, but I don't think he's made really any good ones. Having on your fucking resume that my first year as a GM, I made a guy the highest paid fullback ever is probably not the best thing to have. Early college football playoff. Jesus Christ. Oh my fucking God. We're going to shambles here. Alright, just give me a goddamn second here, guys. We gotta try to win this one so we can keep on keeping on here. Come on, Hackenschmidt. Like, why do we have Chew the Clock tempo on? I didn't turn that on once. Come on, Ingram. You've been our fucking saving grace. Oh, come on. I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Get that fucking Chew the Clock off. Alright, I go with the slip screen. We are in field goal range, even if they're going to try to freeze us or whatever. Great blocking. And we fumbled it. Holy fucking Christ. What is this shit? Did I see this shit? Oh. Best field goal kicker on YouTube, baby. Better believe it. Let's get it. Why do I hate Peyton Manning? Now, there's a story about why I hate Peyton Manning. I hate Peyton Manning. Oh, what the fuck? They didn't give an opportunity to play. God damn it. God damn it, defense. Well, guess that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Oh, look, NFL Movers. That looks fucking waste of money. Alright, well, it's not really that much short. I guess it's like a 10-minute shorter live stream than usual. But I guess, I maybe can go kind of work on preparing for the Chip Kelly rebuilds the Dallas Cowboys, I suppose. So with that being said, thank you all for tuning in to another Beast Mode TV live stream where we did the Penn State Nittany Lions. So what we're going to do is hopefully on Friday, you're going to get a you're going to get a Chip Kelly rebuilds the Dallas Cowboys video in the afternoon. And then on Friday night, we will be doing the Tennessee Volunteers legendary roster. So, yeah, stay tuned for that shit. Thank you all for watching. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.